Welcome back to the Horror Movie Files. Today's topic will be over the iconic and classic franchise, Tremors. But before we continue, a word from our sponsors, the Patreon. Our Patreon has a wide array of content, including written stories, videos, shorts, and digital art. This includes fan-made projects like the SCP Horror Movie Files and original projects, with my most recent and proudest being Endless Conflict, which I'm sure some of you have seen shorts here on YouTube. Supporting the Patreon is the best way to ensure we'll keep making content here on YouTube and our other social media outlets. Also, as a patron, not only will you never miss out on new content, but any requests you make will always be given our top priority. Additional details on subscription perks will be displayed on our main page, so please check it out. There is also a 7-day free trial in case you change your mind later, so there's no need to worry if it turns out you don't like our content. Now back to the file. This video will contain images and descriptions of violence, giant grotesque monsters, giant worm-like monsters, and people getting eaten alive. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, then please feel free to click off the video. For those willing to continue, let's begin with SCP-AEP. SCP-AEP, codename The Dirt Dragons, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. After it was discovered there are still surviving SCP-AEP instances after the initial purge, they were hunted and sent to Site Dino to live alongside the SCP-AAD-1 instances. They have adapted to the ecosystem as predators surprisingly well, and thus any further containment procedures are left to Mobile Task Force Poseidon-6, Dino Safari. Because it's been proven that there are other variants out in the wild, Mobile Task Force Artemis-6 Wild Hunt is responsible for finding these variants, and either capturing them for transportation to Site Dino, or neutralizing them and simply taking DNA samples for testing purposes. Description: SCP-AEP is a species of subterranean worm-like creatures about 9 meters long, 2 meters wide, and each one weighs about 20 tons or more. They all have large armored beak mouths that have one upper jaw but a lower jaw that splits into 3 parts, most certainly for the sake of cutting apart prey for better digestion afterwards. Within their mouths are 3 snake-like tongues which are used to bite prey as a means of hooking them, preventing them from escaping the large mouth of an SCP-AEP instance. However, what makes these instances truly deadly is their incredible sense of sound, being able to hear the slightest vibrations and dig through the ground towards the source at a speed of 20 miles per hour. Their bodies are naturally tough, allowing them to break through most man-made structures, dig through almost any terrain, and shrug off bullet wounds with ease. They are not very smart creatures, but they do know how to adapt to whatever situation they come across, preventing them from falling for the same trick twice. Field data on the SCP-AEP instances suggests their species has actually been alive since the era, possibly even longer before then, making them one of the oldest lasting species on the planet. SCP-AEP instances are essentially apex hunters, but are not indestructible, as durable barriers like reinforced concrete and steel plating walls can kill them if they ram into them hard enough. Though field data suggest explosives are the easiest way to deal with any SCP-AEP instance, with tricking one into eating an explosive always being the best method. Thankfully, for the sake of the Foundation, when it comes to capturing SCP-AEP instances, MTF Artemis-6 has discovered they are susceptible to Foundation knockout drugs. If this was all there was to the SCP-AEP species, they could be easily dealt with. However, the Foundation discovered the hard way that the species has a long life cycle and are able to change form and hunting style in each stage of life. The species' natural first stage of life are eggs, which after hatching, they are 2 feet long and much lighter as a result, but also much faster than their older counterparts. They also have longer spikes on the sides of their body that allow them to burrow much faster and can even shoot themselves out of the ground and into their prey. They do this for the sake of knocking their prey to the ground. Afterwards, they quickly shift them into the dirt, where the prey will be trapped and suffocate, allowing easier consumption for the newborn instances. During this infant stage of life, they are quite weak and if caught can be killed easily. Unfortunately, this stage does not last any longer than a few weeks or so before the SCP-AAP instances mutate into the more commonly found and much larger adult stage. It was originally believed the worm stage of an SCP-AAP instance was the final stage of life, given that it's the longest lasting. However, as it turns out, when an SCP-AAP instance in this stage has lived for a certain period of time or has managed to eat an abundance of food, they will morph into a third stage. In this stage, their bodies are now only 3 feet tall, but they do have strong legs, allowing them to wander the surface at either a walking speed or a running speed of 30 miles per hour. They can no longer hear as well as they did when they were in the ground, but they do have a heat sensory organ, allowing them to find potential prey more easily. During this stage, it has been noted they are a lot dumber due to their over-reliance on their heat sensory organ, making it much easier to trick them. However, they easily make up for this clumsiness by reproducing extremely fast, being able to lay eggs out of their mouths after consuming only a small portion of food. These newborn instances grow extremely fast and are a perfect clone of their predecessor. All instances in this stage not only have a keen smell for food, but their tongues can stretch up to 5 feet long and are covered in tiny needles, allowing them to hook and pull in food from hard-to-reach locations. Due to their ability to find food easily and multiply fast, makes this stage one of the most dangerous, or at least that was the case until the next stage was discovered. The fourth and final stage of the SCP-AAP life cycle is quite similar to the third stage, but here, their bodies are much thinner and light enough that they are capable of flight. SCP-AAP instances in the fourth stage have 2 chemicals within their body produced by 2 separate organs. When these chemicals combine, they explode within the instance. At any time they desire, they're able to force the 2 organs to combine the chemicals. Once this process begins, they're able to blast the excess force of the explosion out of their rectum, allowing them to propel themselves into the air and fly. Around the sides and back of their bodies have webbed fins, assisting them in controlled gliding to where they can glide for up to 20 hours without worry and even coordinate perfectly to swoop down and strike prey. These instances have also proven to be the smartest, being careful to not be over-reliant on their heat sensory organ, knowing when to walk on the ground to capture prey, and how to dodge bullets and anticipate attacks. It's still possible to kill one through either excessive firepower, well-placed shots, and complicated traps. But in regards to containment, feeding them works very well. Unlike their previous third stage, SCP-AAP instances in the fourth stage do not multiply from eating. Instead, eating enough meat causes them to enter a sleep-like state. It seems they need to do this for the sake of using the consumed mass as nutrients to grow eggs within them, starting the life cycle over again. MTF Artemis 6 units have confirmed that this is the best time to capture one, as they are completely still and helpless during this time. The species of SCP-AAP was discovered in 1990 when the small town of suddenly went silent and all federal and local forces went to investigate but never came back. Mobile Task Force Iota 10 Damn Feds was sent to investigate as well, but all the unit could do was report that they were being attacked before they too were killed by SCP-AAP. Finally, Foundation surveillance drones were sent in, and it was through these drones that we witnessed the survivors of the attack kill off the remainder of the SCP-AAP instances. The survivors were rounded up by the Foundation and interviewed before being given the proper amnestics. For their contributions in providing information on SCP-AAP, they were given new homes in a different town and paid compensation money for their victory against the instances, though they will never know why. As for the abandoned small town, Mobile Task Force Artemis 6 Wild Hunt was sent to investigate the area, and sure enough, they encountered many more SCP-AAP instances that were either in hiding or hunting elsewhere. MTF Artemis 6 was able to hunt them all down, and through experimentation, found effective methods to both kill and eventually capture SCP-AAP instances of every stage in the life cycle. They were deployed at great timing, as they reported the SCP-AEP migration patterns indicated they were getting dangerously close to the border of Mexico, where they would surely have slaughtered hundreds. Those that were captured were sent to Site Dino and have adapted surprisingly well to both the terrain and the local ecosystem. It was almost as if they were already familiar with the SCP-ADD-1 instances, though this does make sense given the possible longevity of the species. To this day, at least one unit of NTF Artemis 6 travels the world for evidence of other SCP-AEP instances out in the wild, to either be captured or, if they themselves deem it necessary, kill the wild SCP-AEP instances. And that was SCP-AEP. Thank you to everyone for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I'm trying to reach a goal of 200 subscribers. Also, don't forget to leave a like in the video and comment down below what you thought. As I always say, all criticism is helpful to creators, so please don't hold back on your opinions. Also, feel free to check the links in the description below, so you can follow me on Tumblr to stay up to date with all my content. Finally, as always, a very special thank you to all my patrons who support me in doing what I love. If you want to be like them and have the same perks they do, then please subscribe today and get 15 weeks worth of content early, as well as updates on my content you can't find anywhere else. Thank you all again for watching, and hope you'll stick around as there's always more to come. I know what you're thinking when you look at this thing, you sick freak. Wait, you weren't thinking of anything? Oh, what was I thinking? Video's over. Goodbye.